The Nissan Rogue has been a great value for money vehicle over the last few years. It was never as much fun to drive as something like the Mazda CX-5, nor was it as spacious as a Honda CR-V, but it was less expensive than both, and it came equipped with a lot of the same features. For 2024, the Nissan Rogue receives a plethora of updates, including a tweaked design and a new infotainment system. Not too long ago, the Rogue was available with a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine and a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine. For 2024, only the latter is available across all trim levels. It produces 201 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty reasonable considering the size of this little engine. With the Nissan Rogue tipping the scales at just over 1,700 kilograms, this little engine has plenty of grunt to get the SUV moving. It takes less effort from your right foot to bring the Rogue up to merging speeds on highways. It feels so much more effortless than the old 4-cylinder engine. Additionally, with this 3-cylinder engine, the Rogue can tow up to 1,500 pounds. This 3-cylinder engine is paired with a CVT automatic, just like many other Nissan vehicles. These are not the most enjoyable transmissions for driving enthusiastically, but this is not a car to do that. The Mazda CX-5 is your answer for driving dynamics if you want them. This CVT is, honestly, forgetful, and that's a good thing. It reacts within a reasonable amount of time for a quick burst of acceleration, it brings the engine's RPMs down low when cruising on highways, and it gives you a few virtual gears when you require a bit more control. Fuel economy is pretty good as well. It's rated for 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. During my time with the SUV, I managed a respectable 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers, with the majority of my driving being in a city environment. However, on one trip that involved mostly highway driving, I managed to get 5.9 liters per 100 kilometers. That's hybrid territory. When you're outside of a city environment, this new generation Nissan Rogue drives a lot better than the outgoing version, but as I mentioned earlier, it's no CX-5. However, it feels more planted around corners and the steering is direct, as are all other electro-assisted steering racks. The feel is light, which makes it easy to maneuver the SUV on city streets or parking lots. In Canada, all trim levels come standard with all-wheel drive, whereas in the United States, all-wheel drive is optional on all trim levels. The 2024 Nissan Rogue has arguably one of the most comfortable rides in this class of vehicle. Bumps and road imperfections are very well ironed out by the suspension. It's not like the ride of a Range Rover, for example, but again, it is good for this class of vehicle. Further adding to the comfort in this top platinum trim are the quilted leather seats. They are extremely comfortable to sit in for long periods of time without any back pain. The refined interior adds to the insulated cabin and in reducing outside noises. There is very little wind or tire noise on highways. The 3-cylinder engine is inherently unbalanced by design, but the vibrations do not get translated into the cabin. The engine mounts are working overtime to keep the little engine isolated from cabin occupants. And finally, that interior is very spacious. Front and rear passenger legroom is greater than the previous generation, but headroom is a little bit less. However, there still is ample amounts of headroom for taller individuals like me at 6'4". Getting in and out of the Rogue is a breeze, especially in the back row, thanks to the rear doors that open at almost 90 degrees. This also aids in loading and unloading when the rear seats are folded. Speaking of which, the trunk can accommodate 1,028 liters behind the rear seats and 2,064 liters with the rear seats folded. The floor can be lowered a few inches, and the two different floorboards can act as a divider. Additionally, there is a spare wheel under the trunk floor. The 2024 Nissan Rogue S all-wheel drive starts at $33,648 Canadian. At the other end of the price spectrum is this fully loaded Platinum all-wheel drive version, which will cost you $45,198 Canadian. In base form, the Nissan Rogue S is well equipped. It has an 8-inch touchscreen with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, dual-zone automatic climate control, and a full suite of advanced driver and safety aids. This fully loaded Platinum trim adds a panoramic sunroof, power liftgate, head-up display, surround view cameras, heated rear seats, a 3-zone climate control, a 12.3-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, a 12.3-inch driver display, Bose premium audio, and wireless phone charging, to name quite a few actually. The big change on the inside for the 2024 model year is the introduction of the latest Nissan infotainment system. This system allows for a certain degree of customizability with different apps and widgets being available on the home screen. It still has some elements of the older infotainment system, such as the fonts and some of the menu structures, but I found this new system fairly easy to get used to. Another change to the 2024 Nissan Rogue is the exterior design with a much larger grille. The chrome V-shaped trim pieces which flank the old grille are gone, but the very edge of the new grille slots are chrome to reproduce the V-shape that Nissans have become synonymous with. The rear doesn't see such a drastic change as the taillights look the same as the pre-facelift version. In the end, the 2024 Nissan Rogue is a good overall crossover SUV. As I said at the start of the video, it's not as good to drive as the Mazda CX-5, nor is it as big as the Honda CR-V. But the Rogue is less expensive than both and features a lot of the same gadgets and gizmos. So in a way, you're getting more value for your money with the Nissan Rogue than its competitor compact SUVs. In the past, I would not have recommended the base 2.5-liter engine, but now that it's gone, hopefully the 3-cylinder engine and its variable compression technology will stand the test of time and mileage. If you'd like to know more about this 2024 Nissan Rogue, I have a written review with a few more details about it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner in the top right corner. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.